My spouse is a pet hoarder. Edit. People think this is a shitpost, but it's real. I'm not uploading pics for privacy, but it's genuine. I wrote it in this style just to express everything because it's distressing and aggravating and I haven't expressed it to anyone. I'm seriously asking for advice. It slipped out of control. The amount of pushback from my wife when I address the problems creates a lot of tension and distresses the children. She just keeps bringing home animals. The last time I threatened to rehome the chickens that she was keeping in the house, she became extremely angry and combative. She rehomed them, but not after a slew of insults and claiming I was being totally unreasonable. Then she just slips back into the same behaviors because she never believed it was a problem in the first place. We've had company come to our house, but no one has called CPS or animal control yet. Seeing all these reactions has me realizing just how bad it is from an outside perspective, and a CPS call is a serious possibility, and that is terrifying. End edit. It's 6 a.m. and the roosters have been crowing non-stop for the last 2 hours in our sunroom adjacent to our bedroom. I'm now sitting in the basement as flies swarm around me, and I've given up swatting them because there's too many to bother. The basement is the area of the house with the least amount of flies. On top of the rooster noise is the cackle of male quail that reside in our living room. They live in the base of 3 cages that are filled with budgies and cockatiel. When I wake up I remember to put on my slippers, and I hope I get to them before stepping in dog urine or fresh dog shit. Our carpet in our master bedroom is saturated in dog urine with many spots that haven't dried out yet. Yesterday, my wife bought our daughter a new tortoise and a frog. The tortoise will be added to the aquarium with our bearded dragon. The bearded dragon, which is often is free to roam the house because my wife feels it will be happier. It is free to poop on our furniture or floor or where it was left out last. As I sit here in my basement, the one place where I do not allow any pets, I'm listening to a rabbit thumping its paws on the floor above me, or it's the sound of it biting and ripping apart our wall or furniture. I'm not sure which noise it is, but I don't care anymore. We have at least 6 rabbits. Their little claws make a loud scraping and tapping noise as they scurry and hop across our laminate floors. The main level of our home is littered in rabbit droppings. The droppings get pushed to the side as our 4 children and us inadvertently kick them around while walking through the main level of our home. The dogs won't likely get let out this morning to go to the bathroom. The smaller dog doesn't even obey the command to go out anymore. He just stares at you confused by your directive. If he does go outside, he just comes back in to find a place to shit and pee in one of our bedrooms. Our backyard doesn't have much dog shit because it's mostly in our bedrooms. It will stay there for days on end because there is no expectation that it shouldn't be there. The new smell from the giant rug I bought for the basement has worn off. It smelled like glue and dye, and it drowned out the odors from the dozen chicken that reside in our family and living room. They live in a couple 36-inch fabric pop-up enclosures filled with pine shavings. It is saturated with chicken shit and urine and has soaked into our oak hardwood floors, permanently damaging them. The stench is eye-watering. We have a lot of feathered friends here. In our master bedroom are 3 more cages with a variety of exotic birds that sing loudly all day long and leave a permanent mess of seeds on the floor around the cages. They are free to roam, and so our room has dropping along our bed's headboard, on our pillows, along the sides of the doors where they perch, in our bathroom mirrors and down our shower curtains. Our sunroom has 30+ chickens, and about 8 or 10 of them are roosters, and the roosters crow all day. This is where the flies breed. They come in through the 40-year-old sliding door that is often left open. This door separates the sunroom from our living area and our kitchen. The flies swarm in, and at any given time there are dozens of flies in our living space. The heat and humidity bake the sunroom floor, which is covered in chicken shit and urine, and the odor spreads through the house. Our house is in a suburban neighborhood. We do not live on a farm. In addition to these animals, we have 2 pet rats. They are sweet, but as you would expect, their cage is not well maintained and it stinks 90% of the time. Our boys' room has a snake and axolotl aquarium. One of our daughters has an algae-covered fish aquarium that we fill with water whenever we hear the filter screech because the water evaporated too low. She also has an unkept cage with a hamster that is rarely played with. Right now I'm listening to the mice eat through the foam board insulation in my basement. I want to get rid of them, but it's challenging with all the access to feed throughout the house. They seem to be breeding and entering through the home at a faster pace than they can be exterminated. I am not a pet person and this life is driving me nuts. My wife is a pet hoarder and has ADHD. Our backyard is a ghost town of quail cages from last year when she was really into quail breeding, and we had over 150 living in our backyard. Now there remains broken and half-built cages and mounds of shavings and wood chips that she intended to use as bedding. Scattered in random places in our backyard are household garbage bags of chicken shit. When you try to lift them they fall apart because they weigh 30–40 pounds and the bags have deteriorated from the sun. When challenged, she seems to delight in the frustration it causes me because she is not happy in our marriage. It seems that accumulating animals is bringing her little bits of dopamine with each acquisition. I'm tired of living like this and I don't know what to do. Our children think this behavior is acceptable and they often chide at me for not being on board with the animals. They say I'm not a pet person. It's true that I'm actually not a pet person. But what we having going on here is irresponsible, unsanitary and illegal. This is pet cruelty and normalizing neglect of animals. For starters, if you know it's illegal and you get busted by cops feeling particularly aggressive, then you'll face just as much legal trouble as your wife. As for your wife, she desperately needs a therapist. This is child abuse. It's animal abuse. It's illegal. It's disgusting. There is not anything vaguely okay or even redeemable about this. This is fucked up. Dude. I grew up in a house like this and it fucked up all of the kids. If you care about your children, you would get off your butt and call animal control. Then get everyone in your family therapy. Are you asking for advice or just venting? Because I get the need to vent, but you need to take action, now. I seriously hope this is a literal shitpost. If this is real, you are neglecting your children. Blaming your spouse is a lazy cop-out. If your wife let your kids play in traffic and you watched and shrugged, you'd be just as culpable. Your children live in filth with dozens of feral animals. You've apparently got cages in the yard. Put the damn animals in the yard, call a rescue for the ones you can't keep, and save your children. This is a whole ass mess, but all I can give advice on is, please don't put your turtle with your bearded dragon. One of them will die. And keeping your bearded dragon out to free roam is also going to probably cause it some damage as they're not meant to be out of the tank for more than 20-ish minutes a day. Hoping this is some creative writing exercise. If it's not, you are kinda crap for letting your children be endangered like this. If one of your neighbors gets fed up with your funky yard and calls the police, it is likely Child Protective Services or the equivalent will get involved. Get some couples therapy and make a plan for rehoming some of these animals. Hoarding isn't being a pet person, it's animal abuse. No one is taking care of animals. This is also dangerous for your kids, health-wise. Get out. Get a place to live for you and your kids where you can have a dog. Call CPS and animal control. Take the children and the dog. Get the children into therapy and teach them what looking after animals really means. This whole post made me want to call CPS, as the only decently sane person in your household. Do something. Now. Stuck as caretaker in relationship. How to end it safely. For the last 2 years I've been stuck in a caretaker relationship. My girlfriend, F, 26, and me, M, 28. She has depression and anxiety. She quit work in March, and does not pay towards bills. Has no intention to return to work due to anxiety and not being happy. We moved to a new state in early May and she promised she'd help and get a job. Looked at this as a fresh start. Even if not dating her, I do enjoy the area and post-breakup I would not leave the area. She lives with me. She promised this time it'll be different. That never happened. I'm struggling but making it by. Her depression, anxiety makes her highly unstable. For the last year she insisted that she needs a dog and it'll help her anxiety, which will make my life easier. Instead, because it had to be a puppy, taking care of it has been rough. Too long did not read. There's a few health issues and every time they flare up, she goes into a crying frenzy. It's tough enough taking care of the dog but I can't keep doing this with her too. Sex has ended many months ago. I gave her an ultimatum that if she refuses to get help for her anxiety, depression, I'm gone. She brushes it off. She just watches Netflix all day. I work from home and struggle with the puppy and work balancing. I paid $3,000 for it so if we break up I'd keep the dog, though admittedly they both love each other. Her parents moved down here which is perfect, she has a place to go. But their dog is not friendly with other dogs. I'm okay handling him on my own if I don't need to stress about her as well. She'll wake up 2–3 days just crying. I'm constantly in a comforting role. I can't go to the gym anymore for a combination of time. I can't leave her alone, and the fact that she's kind of jealous and will cause more issues. When the time comes, I'll give her mom a heads up to expect her to return home. However, with the puppy I feel like it'll be even worse. I'm cool with her visiting the dog or split custody, but I know it's just going to be an excuse to try to stay here and convince me to get back with her. She has no way to support the dog. No income, nowhere to keep him. It'll break her. That dog is like all she lives for at this point. How do I end this safely that'll cause her the least amount of damage? I've been taking care of her for significant other long that she can't function on her own. Not having her puppy every day will crush her on top of losing me taking care of her. I don't want the guilt of her harming herself or worse. But I just can't do this anymore. Just today while in a meeting I had to drop the call to run to her having a breakdown cause the dog has a bad belly, and it was a bit messy to clean him up. I cleaned him in 5 minutes and went back to work. But then I needed to comfort her for 10 minutes. I'm so stressed with her. I can't sleep anymore. I got fat. She doesn't do anything for me, though lately she has been doing the dishes, wash during the day here, so it's maybe a move in the right direction? I feel significant other guilty wanting to leave. I don't want anything bad to happen to her and this will devastate her. I know the dog was a bad choice, but fighting every day until we got it wore me down. It'll be rough being in a brand new state, no friends. Family. Anything. But it's gotta be better than this. I'm literally going bald from stress at this point. Gotta make sure she eats more than just chips for dinner. Gotta make sure she applies for unemployment and do it for her. It hasn't been coming in. They're so backed up the last 5 months. She just refuses to be an adult and cries if I try to be a little harsh, or hell, cries if I even pamper her. I'm just at my wit's end. I want a girlfriend, not a child that I have to take care of. Wow. This is a lot to unpack. First off, I am so sorry you are in this situation. Mental health is such a hard thing to confront. I know. I did it last October and broke down within 0.3 seconds of being in the office with my soon-to-be therapist. She needs help. This is not help you can give, okay? You are not equipped to deal with this. You did not sign on for this. She deserves treatment. You deserve peace. It's time to contact her parents about the best possible situation for her. You need to be able to move on. At this point you are facing resentment and anger the longer this continues. UAL significant other need to look into therapy for yourself, okay? You have been dealing with this for a long time and that can and does have an effect. Please take care of yourself, Heart. Step back for a second and take a breath. We can all feel the hopelessness and sense of being trapped in your post. And we feel for you. You can't save someone from their problems with your love. Call her mom and tell her mom that you need to make sure your ex-girlfriend is taken care of. That you love and care for her, but you can't continue the relationship without risking your mental and physical health. Your girlfriend is sick and hurting, but you can't save her by being a crutch. She needs to learn how to find it in herself to get help, move forward, and get healthy. Take care of yourself, and get healthy yourself. Perhaps get therapy or some outlet for yourself. I'm cool with her visiting the dog or split custody, but I know it's just going to be an excuse to try to stay here and convince me to get back with her. Then don't be cool with it. You pay for and take 100% of the responsibility for the puppy. Why would you do shared custody at such a risk to your mental health, and future dating? How do I end this safely that'll cause her the least amount of damage? Not really your responsibility. Her mental health is her responsibility, and she has not been taking care of it. Break up. Give her a month to move out, and stick to it. She has family right in the area, so she should be all set with somewhere else to live. But it's gotta be better than this. I'm literally going bald from stress at this point. It will be so much better. Set hard boundaries and stick with them. Do not let her guilt trip you or try and convince you otherwise. Let her know exactly why you want to end the relationship, and set a day you expect her to have moved out. Don't go back and forth arguing with her or trying to explain yourself. Stop comforting her and doing everything for her. I know it is not intentional, but you're just enabling her at this point by dropping everything you're doing to come running to help her. Whatever you do, keep the puppy. Speaking as a depressed person, when an episode hits, I can barely even take care of myself. And she will spiral when you break up. Yes, it will hurt her. But think about the innocent animal. She has no job, which equals no money to support it, no food, no vet bills, puppy pads, training, spoiling. Love doesn't put food in that dog's mouth. She doesn't take care of it and she's mentally unstable. Please, keep the dog. Honestly, it sounds like she might need to be in either an outpatient or inpatient program for a while. I don't think her parents are gonna be able to handle this either. There's a ton of good advice here, but I just wanted to add. Don't do the split custody of the dog. I understand how guilty you feel about it, but it will be better for everyone to have a clean break here. You and the dog can move and hopefully she can find her own way to moving on. Don't keep her in your life for any reason after breaking up because that can become a way of just falling back into the relationship. You can't take care of another person if you don't take care of yourself first. If she doesn't want to get help, you will just end up same way anxious and depressed. Maybe talk to her in a way that will make her understand that you are serious. Tell her about how it makes you feel. That you are exhausted and getting depressed yourself. That she needs to get help because you can't be her primary source of comfort to this extent. Edit. Also think about what you are really going to do if she refuses to find help. And tell her that, just be prepared to actually go through with it. My 23 female, boyfriend, 25 male, family friend, middle-aged M, accused me of wanting to get pregnant. A throwaway account. I need an objective point of view from an outsider's perspective on this situation. A couple of weeks ago, I went to a graduation party of a family member of my boyfriend. We have been together officially for 6 months there. I met all of his extended family and family friends for the first time, and everything seemed like it went very well. However, the weekend after that, which was this past Saturday, he told me that there was an incident at the party that he needed to talk to me about. He said that a family friend told him and his parents that I was talking to him about watching what I ate because I wanted to get pregnant. When I heard this, I was very shocked, to say the least. Needless to say, I never once mentioned anything about having a baby to anyone at that party, and only spoke a few words to this family friend since there were so many people at the party I needed to meet. I cannot fathom any way someone would get this idea. My boyfriend and I even discussed kids the weekend prior, and I made it very clear that I have no desire to have kids anytime soon. I cannot even have children without a doctor's supervision due to a medical condition that would make pregnancy for me risky, for both me and the baby. My boyfriend knows this. He said that his family was very concerned when their friend told them this, which is understandable, and it got to a point where his parents even wanted to call my parents. I decided to speak to his parents about it in person as soon as I found out and explain that I never said that, have no desire to get pregnant, and that I don't know how that came about. They listened and understood, but expressed to me why they were concerned, and explained that this is a very close family friend, which is why they were alarmed by it. BF's family seemed to believe that it was a genuine mistake, that they possibly misheard me, or someone else said it, and that he thought it was me. They think and that their friend was just looking out for my BF. My boyfriend is making it sound like he wants to put this behind us, and that his family doesn't want to talk about it anymore, but I am still extremely hurt and humiliated by it. What hurts the most is that my boyfriend did not shut it down and defended me right away, since he knows about my view on kids and that I shouldn't get pregnant without a drive. He also knows what we are doing intimately, so based on that he should know that pregnancy is not possible. He should have known it couldn't have been true right away. When I spoke to my family about it, they were shocked as well. I am still processing what happened, but I honestly do not feel comfortable seeing his family again and am still hurt by it. What should I do? Too long did not read. Someone I had a brief interaction with accused me of wanting to trap my boyfriend with a baby. You are both adults, not children. His parents need to butt out and the family friend needs to STFU and mind their own business. That being said, you have every right to confront this person spreading lies about you. Sounds like there's two men that need dealing with. 1. There's a gossipy middle-aged man that needs to be addressed quickly and firmly. 2. You need to handle your boyfriend and his lack of defense. Because if his parents are going to be all in your business, you need a partner to set boundaries and to not be a jellyfish. Sounds like that family friend needs to mind their business and stop trying to start shit. Your boyfriend definitely should have defended you and you deserve an apology from everyone, especially the nosy-ass family friend. I'll be short and blunt because I need to make potatoes. Here are my 2 takeaways. 1. This random old dude wants to fuck you and/or has a fucked up past that he is projecting onto your relationship. 2. Your boyfriend sucks for not defending you harder. You don't have to be mad at him, but tell him how you feel. Tell him you don't feel comfortable being around his family because of the way you were treated. Personally, I would also find this random old dude and try to make his life miserable. But that is hugely bad advice, so don't do that. Anyway, sorry this happened. Good luck. So something similar's happened to me, not about being pregnant, but in-laws claiming a friend said something about me after they met me at a party, when it was them all along. His parents are lying. They are worried about their son and are simply want to know your plans and are blaming this on a friend. That's why they don't want to talk about it anymore. Some people just like to cause trouble. When I was 16, a family friend of my parents who they hadn't kept in touch with for a while called my mum saying that he just saw me at the shopping center, mall, hanging off two boys. She turned around looking at me on the couch watching cartoons and told him, "That's funny because she's sitting right here in front of me." Screw that man trying to make trouble. Even if I was hanging out with some guys, there's nothing wrong with that and it's none of his business, and screw your BF's family friend for doing the same. Only been dating 6 months. The first time you meet his family, massive gossip by a bunch of middle-aged people, drama, his family feels the need to talk down to you and wanted to tattle to your parents like you are a child? Then the icing on the cake is your boyfriend just wants to move on. Why on earth do you want to continue to date someone who acts like this and lets his family treat you like this? This is the first impression they make with you? Run. Wow, that's insane. I'd probably break up with my partner over that, to be honest. Especially after just 6 months? How ridiculous. Tell him to get a FC King backbone and grow up. To have to defend and explain yourself to his parents equals location flag. My 27M sister-in-law, 25F, just asked me a disturbing question and I don't know what to do. This is a throwaway account because my sister-in-law, Tracy, and brother use Reddit, albeit not frequently. This might seem long and jumbled up, and it's just because I don't know what to do nor where to start, so please bear with me. I have an identical twin named Danny, and we were the typical twins who switched places and got away with it because we were so similar. We're the same height, had similar voices and even similar mannerisms. It got to the point where our parents had a hard time figuring who was who. We continued like this well into college, where my brother met his now wife Tracy. I think it's important to know that in college we were complete gym bros and spent most of our time in the gym or doing some sort of exercise. Tracy was nice enough, and right after we finished college they got married. Since getting married, Danny barely works out and has gained weight, which he likes to call healthy relationship fat. I on the other hand haven't changed much since graduation, so now we don't really look identical. I know that Danny and Tracy are trying for a kid, but to no avail, and Danny confided in me that it's because of low sperm count. He said he wants to get an IVF, but because of the pandemic, their finances aren't really in the position to spend extra money. I wanted to help, so I gave them some money I had saved up, and Danny seemed really thankful, but Tracy didn't. Tracy has been more touchy with me than normal. When we would have a family get-together, she would ignore Danny and come talk to me for the entire day. I wouldn't question it normally, but we would talk as a group, and whenever Danny would say something she would say, "Yay haha," and go back to talking to me. Now the really disturbing thing is that we were all at a mutual friend from college's house late at night, and I went inside to go to the bathroom. Tracy followed me into the house, grabbed my pants and tried to kiss me. I pushed her off and she blamed it on being tipsy. I was freaked out and decided it was time to leave. But I got a text from her, a different number, saying that she wants to have my baby and if I was interested. I was shocked, and then she confessed that she was no longer attracted to Danny because of his weight. She then went on to say that she was attracted to me and would touch herself to me and all this other weird shit. This is fucked because Danny loves her so much and she's out here doing this bullshit because of some weight gain. I don't want to hurt my brother, but at the same time I don't want this to play out any longer. What should I do? Tell him. With as much kindness as you can coat this with, but tell him immediately. Dude, you gotta tell your brother. Family first, simple. Don't hesitate on this shit either. He deserves someone way better than his current GF wife. You are twins, she wants to trick him into believing the kid will be his. Tell your brother. Tracy probably will get more direct in the future. Save the texts and any other evidence. Tell your brother gently and support him. He might need space for a little bit though. Especially since they are looking into having a child together, he needs to know. Low sperm count is not no sperm count. He should know before any child is involved. I don't want to hurt my brother, but at the same time I don't want this to play out any longer. You aren't hurting your brother by telling him, you're hurting your brother by keeping this from him. He deserves to know the truth, and while he might lash out at you due to her behavior, it won't be your fault. Make sure you mention that she was texting you things and offer to call the number or ask her to send you a picture of herself while you are with your brother as proof. The best time to tell your brother was about 5 seconds after she tries kissing you. The second best time to tell your brother is now. Do not delay further. The longer you go here, the further you erode trust with him because you decided to wait. Bro, don't hesitate, that's your brother and twin at that. Girls come and go. If she's doing that to you, imagine what she does with other guys.